Hey guys, Jeremy here with TBIInfinitey, bringing you guys another Buddyfight Ace deck profile. And we got my Folktale. Sorry that we haven't done one in a while, but just really wanted to, really felt the need to do this. Any case, anyway, let's get on to the deck profile. We have, of course, my Secret Flag, SP Flag, whatever, with Mel and Emma, best girls. And then, of course, our buddy is Red Riding Hood Emma. 6/1/1, size 1, free to call, double attack, and when she is destroyed, I get to draw a card, and when she hits my opponent for damage or destroys an opponent's monster by her attack, I can look at the top 3 cards on my deck. If there's a Folktale monster among them, I can put one in the soul, and then the rest go to the bottom in any order. Not once per turn ability, so, you know, if you hit with both attacks, which happens a lot because it's one crit, so I'm not going to block it. You should be blocking these more. To start at the size 0s, we have 7 dwarves. Sorry, 1/1/2, 1 gauge call calls, and when it enters the field, I gain a life, and I can search for a Folktale item from my drop zone or my deck. Consistency, why he's here. Then we have 4 copies of White Snow Princess, Snow White, Krista, 3/1/1, size 1, and when she enters the field, I can pay a gauge. If I do, I can get a monster from my drop zone into the soul of a Folktale item, and when she's on the field or in the soul of a Folktale item, she gives all other Folktale monsters 4k power and penetrate. Really great for helping get through centers with big defense and allow you to get pen off, so keeping your damage output going. Really great card. Then we have, to start with the size 1s, we have 1 copy of 12 Witch, 4/1/1, and when she enters the field, I can put a hand card into the soul of a Folktale item, get a gauge in a life, but if she was called by a card effect, I also get a draw. She's basically like a backup Jordan, but because of the hand card part, it makes her not as consistent, so I play only 1. Then we have 1 copy of Schwartz Hexen, 4/1/1, let me saying this a lot, with the ability, if you have a Folktale item on my field, all my Folktale monsters get an extra critical, so Emma's really good with it. She gives an extra critical to something like Emma, which has double attack, so that's 2 crit, and if I have 2, that's 8 damage if they all hit, and herself, so that's still another 2 damage, that's 10 damage. That's not hitting, but it's still great. And when she's in the soul of a Folktale item, my size 3s cannot be destroyed by card effects, which is great. Then we have 2 copies of Sleeping Princess Steph, Sleeping Beauty, 2/2/1, size 1, and when she's destroyed rest a card in my opponent's field. And when she's in the soul of a Folktale item, my size 3s cannot be rested by card effects. Great card, and 2 great abilities. And it's 2 crit. Then we have Hunter Jordan, second best size 1 in the deck, 4/1/1, and when he enters the field, if there's another Folktale in your field, you can get one of 2 abilities, gain a gauge in a life, or draw a card. It is really great. Either one. I would love if he was both, but that would maybe be broken, but regardless, he's just really good, because I could spam him with Gambit, and the book, he's great, And of course we have 4 Emma, it's the buddy, and I already went over her. Now into Folktales, only size 2, and the one I choose to play one of, 6/3/1, size 2, Ideal Prince. When he's destroyed, I gain a life. He's free to call, but hardly ever call him. Thing he's mainly here for is in soul ability. When he's in the soul, Ex-Biblio's soul cannot be removed by my opponent's card effects. And all cards in my field and his soul's ability cannot be nullified. Then onto the size 3s, we have a great Folktale tech, one of since the Army Lord. Freak Wrist Beast Lord Ziyun, 6/3/1, size 3. Pay a gauge, top deck soul guard, penetrate, and if there's for each originally size 1 monster or Army Lord on your field, he reduces his size by 1, gets 3k power and an extra critical, and when he's attacking alone, his attacks cannot be nullified. Absolutely great card. Having 2 size 1s, he's a 5 crit, unnullifiable penetrating monster. Emphasis on monster. Like, this thing is just great. You can restand him with Red Cape Brulee. He's just great. Then we have the one of Overturn Ice Emperor Miseria, the best overturn card in the game. Fight me. 8/2/6, size 3, 2 gauge. Put a spell from drop in the soul. Double attack, soul guard, lifelink 2, and of course it's amazing overturn. 2 gauge during the main phase. Both players gauge. Field and the field's abilities are nullified, except his own. Field, drop zone, hand, and gauge all go back in the deck. for both players. They draw 6 and gain 2 gauge. Duly note that Soul does not go back in deck because it's not considered part of the field, and it's not in any of the designated zones that he returns back to the deck, so they will just end up in drop afterwards. So be wary of that and keep track of what was your Soul. Don't just start grabbing everything and shoving it back into your deck. It's very important. Then we have 2 copies of Illusion Dragon, Snow White Dragon. 926, size 3, 2 gauge call cost. When it enters the field, I can destroy a card in my opponent's field. If I do, I deal my opponent a damage. It has triple attack, and it has the great counter ability that a lot of the illusion dragons actually have. During each player's turn, I can counteract, destroy the Folktale monster on my field, and pay 2 gauge, and call this card from the hand without paying its call cost. Ironic. So I can get my enter ability on my opponent's turn, destroy something problematic, and deal with damage. So, just a great card. Then we have Illusion Dragon, Thorn Dragon, 737, 2 gauge call cost. When it enters the field, I can choose a card in my opponent's field. For this turn and the next turn, that card cannot stand by any means. And the same counteract as Snow White Dragon. Pay 2 gauge and destroy a Folktale monster. If I do, I can call this card from hand without paying its call cost. Really great card. Really messes with double attack or triple attackers, yada yada yada. Great. And last but certainly not least, we have Illusion Dragons, Red Cape Dragon. 939. You can only do it. It has a call cost of pay 2 gauge, and its counteract is only during your turn. You destroy a Folktale monster, pay 2 gauge, call without paying call costs from your hand, yada yada yada. When you have 3 more soul in your Folktale item, it gets plus 4k power and plus 4 critical, and it has penetrate naturally. It's just, oh my god, 7 crit pen. This is such a fun card to use, and it's really, really great for closing out games. Onto the spells, we have 1 Gambit. This card is almost just dumb and stupid staple in a lot of decks. It's very obvious, and it's very obviously here to spam Jordan, but also could return your dragons if you want to use their in-hand abilities. 1 copy of Miracle Fighters. I would play actually 2, but I don't have 2 because this card is stupid expensive. Anyway, pay 1 gauge and choose an attribute on your field, and now you for its ability you can search for a size 3 or item of the same attribute you chose for its cast cost from your deck and add it to your hand. You can only cast Miracle Fighters once per turn. I can search any of my dragons or Act Biblio. Really great card, of course. Then we have 1 copy of Grim Ash. Grim Ash has a pay 1 life cast cost, and you have to have a Folktale item to use it. And then you look at the top 4 cards of your deck, put any amount of monsters among them into the soul of your Folktale item, and then the rest go to the bottom in any order. Grim Ash is once per turn. Then we have 2 copies of Wonder Princess. It's a free set that prevents my Folktale item from being destroyed by card effects, and it has the counteract to destroy a Folktale monster on my field. If it does, I get a gauge, so it's really helpful for me to like open up my center, get a gauge, and then get off my Emma or whoever's in my center, attack with Biblio, so I can get that at least nice little one with it, because you hardly ever attack with it, and then you start going. It's just great. It's a great card, and I do recommend at least playing 1, because also the idea of not having your book destroyed is great. Trust me. Then you have 2 copies of Unfreezing, pay a life, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 to hand, and then the rest to the go to bottom in any order, and Unfreezing is once per turn. Derelbeck on a spell. 2 Bundles Quest, this card is optional, but in any case, you can discard a size 2 or greater for its cast cost, and then when you do, get 2 gauge, a life, and 2 draw, bonus quest once per turn. Great card to get rid of, like, Illusion Dragons if I have the next card in my, the next card coming up, so they can go right into soul from the drop zone, or for Crystal's ability. So it's you don't want to not discard them, but if you don't need Overturn Rosaria or Frequent Ziyun, or you really want Ideal Prince in the drop, of course, this is a great card. Then we have 2 copy of Illusion Tea Time. Put a monster from the drop zone into the soul of a Folktale item, gauge and draw once per turn. Great card. I like it at 2 because 3 made it really cloggy for me. Then we have 2 copies of Throw, Swallow, Pause. Cast cost is destroy a Folktale monster in your field, and then counter, you can destroy a card in your opponent's field. Really great counter destruction that also gives my my monsters their abilities off. Yes, please. 3 copies of Red Cape Brulee. You can only cast if you have a Folktale item in your field, pay 1 gauge. cast cost, and counter, choose one of two abilities. Either stand a monster on your field, any monster. So I can stand Ziyun, I can stand Rosaria if I did some kind of crazy shit like that. It's great. Or I can counter rest a card on my opponent's field. So it's great offensively and defensively. So yes, play 3 of these. I do not recommend 4. Then for Dex Nullifier, we have 4 copies of Deadly Serious Tuffle. It's free to cast. You can only cast during an attack on your opponent's turn. And you have a Folktale, destroy, nullify the attack, and then you can choose to destroy a Folktale monster in your field. You gain 2 life and draw. Life gain and drawing, yes please. I've only not done it once just so I could then do a dragon play afterwards to destroy the monster that I didn't destroy for this ability. Then we have the deck's amazing draw spell, Hexen Ceremony. Cast cost is destroy a Folktale monster in your field, and counter, gauge and draw 2 once per turn. But oh my god, this thing is amazing with Emma. It is absolutely bonkers when I just, let me destroy my center, like say Emma, I call out a dragon, they're like, okay, now I'm gonna try and kill the dragon, destroy the dragon, and then if I paid life to put them in soul, then I can just call them out again. I love this card. It's perfect. Then we have 2 copies of your main card, and the Crew to Crop. This deck does not work without Illusions Folktale, Ect Biblio, free to equip, 3/1 item. It has Soul Guard, and when a Folktale monster in your field is destroyed, you can pay a life and put it in into the soul of this card, and it is a counteract to call up to 3 monsters from its soul by paying your call cost once per turn. Yeah, this card is great. It's freaking great. I do not have all the time in the world to explain how many things I can do with this card. It is amazing. You must play it. I would not recommend 4 because lots of dead draws can happen, and you have plenty of ways to search it if you play more Miracle Fighters. Anyway, hope you guys like this video. Subscribe to TBI Buddyfight content, and I'll see you guys later. Channel from TeamBurningInfinitey going out.